Paul got a software update and somehow it changed the height of his seat.
No, that's a separate issue, which I'd like to fix. But yeah, the camera thing got a software update, and it's grainy looking and warm. I'm okay with it.
Are you?
Yeah.
All right. So which Pixel did you buy?
I got an 8 Pro, just the base model. I don't need more than 120 gigs of storage, believe it or not, which I know because every single phone I use, I always have more than half left by the time a year has gone by and I have to get rid of it. That might change as pictures get bigger, right? The iPhone 15 Pros have like a 24 megapixel default now, which maybe, but that one's 256. I didn't have a choice. So. Oh, and then I got a watch for free because Google is desperate for people to have these things, I guess. Okay, cat, come on. Every day, the cat, you can't hear her because of this microphone. You can't hear that a train just went by, for example, even though it was really loud. But the cat just walks up and squawks when I start talking because she's like, obviously, you're calling me and you want to, pet me, which is one of those things I miss from having an office because I could close the door.
I will tell you, the software they're doing with the Pixel 8, if it had iMessage...
I'm sorry?
If it had iMessage, I would be tempted. It looks really good.
No, this is... The thing that Google has done here, which no mainstream smartphone maker, meaning like non-Chinese, I guess, not to be crude about it, but... and I just don't know if they've done this, is, these flagships have 3 camera lenses now. If you look at what Apple has, the very latest version, just like last year, 48 megapixel main camera, and then 12 megapixels on the other two. And it's like, what? And when you were doing pixel binning, which they still are actually, on the main lens, you get a 24 or 12 megapixel picture typically. Google does the same sort of thing, but their sensors are all 48, 50 megapixels now. They're, like I said, the first. And I actually think that's an important step. Because you might still pixel bin, you might still go right down to 12 megapixels, whatever, but you're still working with a higher resolution sensor, potentially higher quality, hopefully higher quality. And, that should impact the quality of your photos. So, and plus Google computational photography, right? Amazing. But, Brad, it's not just that. Like, it's the AI that exists throughout the system, all these like helpful features, right? The way that like you get a spam call and it's like, we'll take it. And they just talk to the person who then hangs up because it's a spammer 90% of the time. It's all that stuff. Like this stuff is all over those phones. And this is really the light side, I'm not sure how to say it, of the dark side of the Pixel, which is, Pixels have had issues over the years, of course, reliability, et cetera. That's gotten a lot better with the recent ones, although 6-7 Tensor chips run hot, bad battery life, slow charging. And it looks like that's getting solved with the 8 too. I mean, maybe not fully, we'll see, but faster charging, better battery life, better performance, right?
One feature I hope that they bring to Google Photos, which they might, because it's part of that, is, which sounds terrible to say, but the face swapping. So you take a bunch of photos, and then you just click on the face, and you're like, okay, you're actually smiling in this one, and then you pick that one, and then it composites the photo.
There are 3 levels of Google Photo features, from what I can tell. The best one is when you have a Pixel, right? You get everything, right? The next one down is, I think if you pay for Google One storage, you get some like premium Pixel style features and photos, and then the base level is you just have photos, right? And I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, if you are using Google Photos to store photos, you must be paying for storage.
Yes.
Okay, so you might in fact get that stuff. I think that tends to trickle down over time.
Yeah, because I got Magic Eraser on my phone now.
There you go. Yeah, probably through Google One then, right? Because you do the storage. Yeah. So I wouldn't be surprised.
That's what I hope.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks like a great phone, and I'll be curious to see your opinion on the watch, even though it's quote unquote free for you.
Yeah. I mean, it was pretty close, honestly, with the last one. My big takeaway from that was I was surprised by how much, for me, I mean, everyone, you probably used to watch this extensively, I'm sure, compared to how I did. But I was surprised by how good of an Apple Watch alternative it was on V1.
Yeah.
But battery life, SoC was older, charging was a little slow, and those things are all better this year. It's not 2 days of battery, right? It's still a full day, but it was pretty close. But the problem with these things, of course, is like if you buy a Fitbit, it's universal, it works everywhere. But if you buy a Pixel Watch, you're on Android, and if you buy an Apple Watch, obviously you're on Apple. So I don't know. I really like things to work everywhere.
Yep.
When possible, But anyway, I'm sure it's going to be pretty good. $350 good. I don't know, maybe, but I don't know.
The pricing seems pretty reasonable too for everything that they did. I mean, nothing.
Apple and Google both did very interesting things with pricing because prices are really kind of going up across the board, but they kind of walk around it a little bit. So, the starting price of those two phones went up by $100 year over year. But if you pre-order it now, you can get a $200 or $350 value by getting a free pair of earbuds or the watch. I'd rather have $100 off, frankly, and not get either one of those things. I don't need either one. But, Apple did the same thing. They bumped the storage up and they're like, yeah, it's more expensive, but it's the same price as this was last year. And this is the new baseline. It's like, yeah, okay. It's not horrible, right? And Pixel still retains its inherent value advantage over Samsung and Apple because it's still less expensive, right? The highest end version of it starts at $999, whereas in the Apple space, the highest end version starts at $1199 or $1099 or whatever it is for the Pro Max, with more storage,
Yeah.
But
I don't know. I think it was a good event. I mean, they mentioned AI a lot, but
yep, as they should.
What else?
I was glad to see them do the assistant thing, right? Like, when this AI stuff started, I thought naturally that Google would go with Assistant, Amazon would go with Alexa, and that's how this stuff would kind of fall out. But Google announced a million different Bard and whatever else it works. They announced a million things, and then Google or Amazon did at their event recently talk about how this was their big consumer push was through Alexa, as it should be, right? So I'm glad they kind of are heading in that direction for consumers as well, because honestly, typing is fun, but I always saw this AI stuff as a natural extension of the assistant stuff, right? Whatever the brand. So I thought that was smart.
Yeah.
It was good.
Yeah. When is all your stuff supposed to arrive? Probably when you go to Mexico?
This is going to be a huge problem. Yep. So next Thursday or Friday. And next Friday we fly to Mexico. So
I was joking, but
no, I know that's a huge problem. And there's nothing I can do to fix this. Like I couldn't pay extra to have it arrive sooner. I would have. So right now I'm just going to let this thing sit. These things tend to, sometimes they come like a day or two early. So I might luck out, but yeah, I could have a huge problem. And if I do, we have my nephew's going to be staying here. I'll talk to him. But this is a problem because if this stuff arrives and I don't get it for 3 weeks, I can't return it anymore if something goes south, right? So you see the problem. And if I decide to cancel the order, which I could, right? I mean, I don't know. First of all, I'd lose out on the watch, which whatever. I don't actually need it, but maybe maybe it won't be as quick to come, we'll see. I don't want to obsess over that. So I'll do it privately. but yes, I mean the timing is terrible. It's terrible. I wish that was different. Yep.
Yep. I got nothing for you.
Not helping matters. I really like the iPhone.
Oh, right.
Hey, you would know this. One of the problems I had back when I was using the iPhone before was that one of the many problems, because notifications still suck on iPhone. It's terrible, but messages, right? The Messages app, it never allowed you to create group names. So all my I would have groups of people, and it would say Stephanie Thurrott, comma, ... for like 7 groups, and I could never tell which one was which without going into it. And I was, when I first set this thing up, I went in and I'm like, oh, you can name groups now, just like you can on Android. Nice. Is that did that just arrive or something? Is that a new feature? Does that sound familiar?
I want to say iOS 16, maybe.
Oh, that long ago.
I mean, that long ago. That would have been a year. That would have been last update.
Yeah. Oh, that's true. Right. So I had actually, right. Okay. Yeah, I didn't notice it before. So I would have bought that iPhone 2 years ago on iOS 15. Right. Okay. Yeah. All right. So I missed it. I guess that's a stupid thing to be excited about because it's so basic.
But it's helpful.
But it is so important. Yeah. So important.
Yep.
And they also have auto. By the way, if you haven't done this, they have auto deletion of like, codes that get sent to you by text, so you can have those kind of auto clean up. So between those two things, like that Messages app is a lot cleaner than it ever was for me. Like that actually, that's a real world improvement right there.
I just need the photo features from Google. That's the.
Well, I mean, Apple could do some of that stuff too, and then
I'm sure Apple will bring it.
Right.
I'm
just saying, like you could do it on your phone and then still save it to Google Photos. Like that would probably be fun.
If it comes to Google Photos, all my life's problems are solved. Just kidding. But many.
Well, I bet I'm positive some of it will. I wouldn't be surprised if most of it didn't over time.
Yeah, I can't imagine the convenience is that it just happens natively within the apps that you already use. So that's that's a thing.
It is the thing.